So what I'd like to do on the channel is I would like to start reviewing some products that I think are going to be helpful for you to help you learn your instrument. These are also things that I wish I would have had when I was starting out as well. Hopefully if you use these tools now, they're going to help you a lot and speed up the process of learning your instrument. Let's see. So the first company I've reached out to is, they're called Fret Zealot, and basically what I was looking for is, I've always seen people with the LED system on their guitars and thought how cool that looks. There's one called Fretlight where they build it into the fretboard, but you need to buy a new guitar that has that built in. I don't know if you could buy the neck separately, but what I was looking for is something that's temporary, that you could add on to your existing instrument to save you the cost of buying something new. So I reached out to a company called Fret Zealot, like I mentioned, and they have kindly sent me 2 boxes. So I've opened them, but I haven't looked inside yet. I don't trust myself with a knife on camera, I'm probably going to lose a finger. So the first thing they've sent me is some very nice sunglasses. Thank you, Sean. Lovely. And they've sent me 2 systems. So the first one they've sent is the guitar system. It comes in 2 different scale lengths, so we'll be talking Fender scale length, Gibson scale length. I've gone for 25.5 inch, which should be the Fender scale length, because my Harley Benton guitar, the big orange one that I use, that's what I'm going to put this on, and that should have the Fender scale length, if I've not made a mistake. Okay, the other box we have got a much smaller package. This is the ukulele system, and this is for concert ukulele. So if you do buy these, have a look and make sure you're getting the right scale length for guitar and the right ukulele size. So we'll be talking soprano, concert, tenor, check what size you need, yeah? Okay, so let's move some stuff out of the way, get them opened up and see what we've got. Okay, so I'm going to start with the guitar system. The thing that's really nice that I like is they've done the inner sleeve with colours and the outer sleeve with some holes in, so actually it looks like it's an LED system on the box as you're taking it in and out. It's a very snug fit. Let's see if I can do it without breaking it. Oh, there we go. Okay, so if you see the LED strips, it's quite cool. I like that. So this is what I was telling you about with the frets. As you open the box, the colours reveal the inside box. So let's see what we've got. We should have the battery pack, a capo to attach the battery pack, the clips, audio cables, the LED strip, which is essential for it. This, from what I've read, is a phone holder, some picks, and a cable for communicating with your computer. So just say test before actually putting it on the guitar, which makes sense. Check that the LEDs work, test fit the system onto your guitar. So assuming you bought the right scale length for your guitar, then that should be okay. Do not stretch. The adhesive works only once, so you cannot move it from one guitar to another, which is really important. So it's kind of permanent, but I've looked on the website and you can buy a single replacement strip. So if you wanted to, you could just buy this strip and it works out a little bit cheap. You don't have to buy the battery pack and everything else. So there's the LED strip. Let's see how big this battery pack is, I'm curious. Okay, so not massive, not tiny either. So there's the battery pack. There's the 2 clips to hold it onto the capo, a cable to plug it in, some silica gel. What else? The cables, so standard, oh, it's the old style USB. Capo. Please do not return this product to the store, blah, blah, blah. So if we've got some information, a sticker, some more information. This is the capo, which I suppose just like a standard capo, you could use it as a capo if you wanted to on the guitar, but it has these 2 holes slotted in it, which should be like this to attach your battery pack later when we get to that. And this bit, these are the other goodies. Some Fret Zealot picks. And this looks like the phone holder, which, you know, if you're practicing with the mobile app, it's quite nice to have that. Cool, okay. So the other test that we need to do is to check the scale length is okay. So I'm going to try and work from this side with the camera on that side, see if this works. So let's open this up as carefully as I can do it. And let's just do a test fit to see how we're looking. So this bit here is going to hang on the edge where you've got your side markers, but it should, unless it's supposed to be there. Ah, there we go. Okay, so I can see the error that I've just done. I was putting it against the frets and thinking, why is this one like this? Well, this is your open string, so it should sit like this to the other side of the frets. So that would be there, fret 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm happy with that. Okay, now what it says is to peel off the adhesive on the first 2 strips, position them where you need them. What I tend to do is I put pencil lead into my nut anyway to lubricate it, and it's actually made it very easy to see where the strings go. But what you want to do is make sure that your LEDs are lined up with the nut slots, and then that's going to give you enough excess to push this bit round at the end, but you do that last, okay? Okay, so let's give this a go and see how we get on. Okay, so now I'm just smoothing them down, seeing if I've got it looking all right. Fairly happy with that. Okay, and now I should be able to just push very gently with my thumb the edge strip round, because that's got the glue ready to stick, and it's lined up, so double dots for 12, you've got the fret markers, the side dots. I mean, this is got a first fret, but I'm sure you can see where that goes. Okay, and what I think I'll do to make sure that I've not messed anything up is just plug the battery pack back in, switch the lights off just to give it a little bit more of a show so we can see it a little bit more. Here we go. Here's the first test. Okay, now we're going to attach the battery pack to the capo. I'm not really sure which way it needs to go, this way or the other way, but we'll find out. It's only a few screws if I get it wrong. Okay, that's nice and snug. You've got your charging port, you've got your switch off and on. Let's see where it's going to go. So there's the headstock on my Harley Benton guitar. Ideally, it'd be great if it went in the middle, but it doesn't look like that'll happen. I could Velcro it on, to be honest. A little block of wood and then Velcro it to the wood, which I might do. So it looks like it will go on like this. To be honest, if I swap this battery pack round, I can put the cap on the other side, which would make more sense, then it won't fall off with gravity. So, 1 minute, and I'll switch it round. Okay. So there it is now on the other side, on the top side, which, you know, I wouldn't say it's the prettiest thing I've ever put on my guitar, but it certainly does the job. So if I plug this cable in here and here, we should have a light show. And like I said, I think what I'll do is put some Velcro and have this attached on the back of the headstock without the capo, but this makes it easier for charging to take it off and on. Okay, so here it is installed before the strings. As you can see, it's not the prettiest solution, but it makes sense. It's a capo, it's quick, it's easy to take off if you need to charge the system. I mean, I've got no strings on yet, that's why the Bigsby is clanging around. But let's try. So I've now got the switch really easy to access. Switch it on, and we're good to go. I might modify this now because I think that's going to annoy me. Okay, so here's the temporary modification, only until I get something better sorted. So basically what I've done is I found an old sanding block that I've cut just to fit in between the tuners, velcroed it to the neck, to the headstock, and then velcroed the battery pack onto that. It's not an ideal solution, but for now it's okay until I get something more permanent sorted out. There's no reason that you can't use the capo. The capo is actually more stable than what I've just made, but I quite like that I've got access to the tuners both sides without the battery pack in the way. That being said, once it's in tune, it should be alright anyway. Alright, testing time. Okay, so I still wasn't happy with the block idea. It would work, but I don't like the battery pack being stuck out so far, so the final idea is that just velcro it straight to the headstock, and it's really held on well. The nice thing is it's also tidied up the cable, which keeps it nice and snug. It's against that tuner, but it keeps it out the way of my playing hand. I haven't got anything flopping down. The capo's not sticking out, so I should be able to hang this on its wall hanger, as long as I'm careful with that cable. Yeah, it should go on the wall hanger with no problems as well. Let's see. Okay, so I've been using the Fret Zealot system for about a month now on this Harley Benton guitar. The installation went really well, so after a month nothing's come loose, everything's still stuck on. I did modify the way I installed the battery pack, so if you remember I did the Velcro strip rather than the capo, but the capo works absolutely fine. In fact, it's probably better than the Velcro because it's still a little bit loose, but I wanted something that keeps it really out the way, and I think that was the best solution. So let's switch the app on and I'll show you what features there are, and I suppose the best place to start would always be with the tuner. So as we open the Fret Zealot app, you see the load time is fairly quick, which is good. I'm greeted with this is the open page. I'm not going to go into everything that they've got in the courses, there's hundreds, but what I'll show you is the main features of the Fret Zealot system in conjunction with the app and what you can get out of it. So when you switch the app on, you'll be greeted with a screen that looks like this. We've got chords, notes and scales, the tuning app, the Metronome, light show, which is great, and partner apps. So let's go ahead and open up the tuner. Which exactly like every other tuning app, I don't need to go into the details of it. There's an auto mode where it listens to the sound and it goes, oh, that's the note you want, or manual mode where you physically tell it the one that you want. You've got an acoustic, you've got an electric. I don't really see what the difference would be apart from aesthetics. But you've also got different tunings as well, which is quite cool. So, for example, drop D, full step down, open tunings, baritone tunings, all fourths, balalaika tunings. Because the app is compatible with other instruments, ukulele for example, so it's got ukulele tunes in there. What else? Double drop D, dobros. Well, that's good, you can change it for left-handed. Loads of different stuff. Okay, we'll stick standard tuning. You don't particularly need to see me tune my guitar. You know what I'm doing. Okay, so that's the tuning app. Works exactly as you would expect. We've got a metronome, which again, select your different beats, select the tempo, and self-explanatory. 4 beats in a bar. The two main sections which I'm going to focus on today are the chords and notes and scales, and I'll show you some of the lessons as well, but these are the best things. First we need to connect the Fret Zealot system, so switch it on, get a nice little light show, go into settings, connect now, which is up there, make sure you get your Bluetooth on, and there it is, done. And that was with me forgetting to switch my Bluetooth on, so it is fairly quick. You can also tell it what you've got: bass guitar, ukulele, right or left-handed, if you've got a capo on, what your current tuning is, default LED color, and the settings for how bright you would like it. Okay, so let's go into the chords section first. This is probably one that you'll spend a lot of your time in. Okay, let's explain what's going on here. We are showing the chord of A major, your open string A major chord. Obviously we don't use the E string on this, so it's red, meaning do not play. You've got the open string there, you've got 3 lights on fret 2, on the D, G and B string, and you've got the open E string at the top. You'll notice that the different fingers have colours. So if we click on this little finger at the top, we can see it tells us what colour is what finger. So we've got blue is finger 1, green is finger 2, yellow is finger 3, and if you were using it, which you would on other chords, little finger is purple. Do not play the red string, which is your E. We've got the open A chord. Let's go back, let's try something else. You've got different voicings for it. So if you were just playing your cowboy chords, you'd be sticking with voicing 1. So for example, we could just go to G major. There we go. Finger 2, finger 1, finger 3. I mean, you could use finger 4, but let's stick to the colours they've got. And then open strings in the middle. Easy, yeah? So let's see what different chord types we've got. We've got major, minor, minor 7, minor major 7, 7 sharp 5, 7 flat 5, minor 7 flat 5. In fact, I'm just going to stop reading them out. You can see on your screen for yourself what we've got here. Loads and loads and loads of options. I dare say any chord you could imagine, and we are only in voicing 1 for everything. That's quite impressive. Let's go back to something fairly straightforward. Let's go back to C major. And let's have a look at these different voicings. So there's voicing 1. Voicing 2, that would be more like just your normal triad. What else we got? Skip 1, let's keep going a bit, see if it goes higher up the neck. Okay, so there we've got to fret 3, which is the C there. Your A shape. Let's keep going, what have we got? Going higher. Let's see how many voicings there actually are of one single chord. So 128 different voicings just for a C major, that's quite impressive. Obviously some of them you would never play. For example, what have we got here? Where is it? Well, that's a stretch. It's quite nice. I'm sure you could find a use for that. And you've also got access to the metronome from within the chord section. The reason that's useful is because you can actually pre-program it to cycle through some chords, which is really cool. So let's do this. Let's do some standard positions. Let's do, oh, if you press the star here, see how it saved the chord. So let's do something nice and predictable. Let's do C to G major. Yeah, we'll stick to the open. Let's throw in A minor. I'm sure you can all guess where we're going with this. And it's going to end with F major. Yeah, let's do that one. Okay, now I can click on this option here, this little timer, and choose how often I want it to cycle through the chord. So we could do it every, let's stick to 2 seconds. So we're cycling through the chords. We've got the C, G, A minor, F. Really nice. If you're learning the chord progression, you can just stick in the verse chords or the chorus chords and just cycle through it, drill it as many times as you want. You can also randomize the progression as well. So if you're really trying to keep on top of it, so randomizing the progression would make sure you know a progression inside out and you can jump from any chord to any chord. Okay, let's go back and have a look at the notes and scales. This is my favorite section. This is the one that I think most people get a lot out of. Let's start at the top in the notes section. So let's stick with C. So we choose the note and it tells you, well, even shows you where all the notes are. So this is telling me that anything that's got a green LED, yellow LED or purple LED are the same octave. They're all Cs, but these are the same sound, the same octave. So for example, fret 8 on the E string is the same octave as fret 3 on the A string. We've got the 4th octave, which would be yellow. So we've got fret 1 on the B, fret 5 on the G. And then we would have the purple, which is the 5th octave. We've got the E string, fret 8, and the B string 13. If you want to show the lower octave, let's change it. Let's put a G on there. Okay, and now we've got the lower octave there as well. So that'll be the 2nd octave. Probably the bit that you're going to spend a lot of time in is the scales menu. This is cool as well, so let's stick back to C, let's go major, which is Ionian. And what you can see is we've got all the different scale notes around the whole fretboard, which is great, but not really the most helpful when it comes to practicing. So we need to narrow down what we can see. So we could click on vertical to see a scale box, if you're thinking box shapes, and then we can choose what fret we want it to start at. So as we're playing from C, let's do it from the fret 8, which would be your E position root. Now it's up to you where you actually start from. If you start from fret 8, it's got nothing going from this side. So this would turn into more of a 3-note per string. If I knock it back 1 fret, so the starting fret is 7, now we're looking more into the cage position. And with the scale notes being color coded, it means you can visually see the intervals that you've got. So for example, the roots, red, you'd have the thirds in green, fifths in, what color is that, like a turquoisey color. You can choose to display it horizontally, which would be everything across one string. So I tell it I want to look at the E string, and there it is all across one string. You could then tell it you want to show the A string as well. You can choose any combination of strings that you would like to show, the 2 E strings, whatever you want, which is really useful. Okay, so we've looked at the chords, the note scales, the tuner, the metronome. One bit that is just for fun, the light show. So if we click on the light show, it's still displaying what I had on last time. We've got a few different options. We've got bolt, which is like a sparkle. I'll show it at night time so you can see a little bit clearer what it looks like. We've got rainbow, sparkler, and then random. So if you want to learn some songs, there's a song section, and if we have a look at this, the Fret Zealot team say they've bought the license to hundreds, if not thousands of songs. So we've got everything from A Flock of Seagulls to, what have we got, Zyklon. Lots of stuff in between, I imagine. 100 things. All right, let's have a look at, I don't know, let's go back up to A, Albert King. Okay, so you click on the artist, it shows you what songs they've got from that artist. At the moment they've got Wonder, Bad Sign, Crosscut Saw, and if you look here, that says that they've got it for guitar and bass. So that's what we want, let's have a look. So we click on it, it's by Your Guitar Academy. So they work with artists who are tutors to make songs and make the videos, and then they program it themselves. So let's see what we've got. Flip. So I'll bring this closer and you'll be able to see. So you can sit there and just play along with the notes. So you can use this for chords, riffs, scales, anything that you want. Okay, so let's say you've watched the tutorial a few times, but you just want to focus on the song itself. Well, you don't click on the video, you click on the little guitar symbol, and it's a tab player. So you've got, this is probably a better time that I can show you. I click play. Normal playback will just cycle through the song as it should be. So I'll come closer, show you this. The other feature you've got is AI mode. Now, I'm going to have a problem with this because I'm using the microphone to record the screen, and I'm also trying to use the microphone for the app. But, that's it right now. Okay, I can't show you at the moment, but what it is basically it freezes on that first note, and as soon as it hears me play it, it registers it, moves to the second note. As soon as I do that, to the third note. And it won't move on until you've played it. As I said, unfortunately I can't show you because I'm using the microphone now to record the video and the audio, but it's a great feature and it really helps you in learning a song slowly at your own speed. And so far I found the accuracy to be, I would say, not amazing, it's not 100% accurate, but for learning something, it's not really the speed that's important, it's the accuracy. And if you're taking it nice and slowly, it would certainly recognize something that speed. I would say if it's... I've had difficulty that fast, but if I can play that fast, I would just do the normal playback anyway and just play along with the song. You can upload your own tabs and play along with your own tabs, which is a really cool feature. Unfortunately, I find it a little bit tricky to do that because I've got my tabs on my computer, not on my phone, and it's a little bit complicated to upload it to the online store, then bring it back down to the phone. It works, but it's just not as fluid as I think it could be. So how would I recommend using this system? I would say there's definitely 3 different levels. So let's look at the beginner level. The beginner level, I would say you are going to want to be in the song section. You're going to want to be learning the songs that you find really cool. And it's like the old Casio keyboards that used to light up. Press this note, press this note, press this note, step by step. Very useful doing the chords. The solos, really useful as well. I would be using the chord menu. And I would be looking at your chord progressions. I would be cycling chords together, your basic open chords, the cowboy chords. I would be looking at notes and scales. So beginners, you're learning your minor pentatonic scales. So you would say, set this to fret 8, minor pentatonic in C. You know where your root is, and you just can... play through the position. Okay, let's say you want to learn the next shape. You've knocked it down to fret 4, because that's the lowest note that it can display now. And the nice thing is it shows where the roots are, because it's very easy when you learn position 1 to think the root's always going to fall under your first finger, whereas actually the root hasn't moved, but your fingers have moved, so it's now under your little finger. Okay, for an intermediate player, what I would be doing is more going into this, into the horizontal mode, and I would be saying E string, and I would be learning my pentatonic scale. So you can start really joining things together. Because if you can play a solo on 1 string, it really means that you know where your shapes start and finish. Learn it on the A string. Then you can add them together, the E and A, and you've got some little shapes that start happening. And these are going to help you build up little runs. And I would do this on the E and A, the A and D, the D and G, the G and B, the B and E, and it really helps you get these runs going through. Eventually, I would be switching everything on, so you've got all of them together, and be looking at how the shapes fit together. So you'd be moving from shape 1 to shape 5, keep going through them backwards, forward, diagonal. It's a brilliant way to practice and learn. So something that might confuse some of the intermediate players is when you start mixing and matching minor and major pentatonic. So for example, if I switch this on to B flat minor pentatonic, we've got this chord shape, and we look at the intro to Johnny B. Good, for example. So straight away, first note doesn't fit. That note doesn't fit. So we know we've got lots of notes that aren't in that scale shape. So let's try major pentatonic. So that can show you that it's a mix of different ones. You could even then, if you want to try Mixolydian, when you come to doing your solos and think, okay, let's have this little mix of major minor, throw in some Mixolydian. In there. So in composing solos, you could be thinking, okay, let's get some minor, some major, some mixolydian, and stick it within one position. You could then change position and work where the minor, major, mixolydian are in that position and keep changing the shapes. I would also be learning songs which are more to your level, the more intermediate to advanced stuff. Now for the advanced level for this, let's stick it in A and do the Ionian scale, which is just your major scale. Starting from A, you'd have this. At the moment, I need to shrink this down, so we are going to need fret 4 in the vertical setting. Okay, so now I've just got this one shape. In my diagrams that I use, I always have specific colours for intervals because I find this helps me remember where things are. I can visualise what chord tones I'm looking for as well. So if you click on the note itself, it brings up a colour wheel, which is really cool. I'd like my roots to be red. Important chord tone, the 3rd, I'd like that to be green. The 5th, let's have that yellow, is the colour I normally go for. I like to have the 7th displayed as well, which I quite like going for a purple colour for that because they're quite bold colours. Now the 2, the 4 and the 6 are important, especially if you're doing extensions later on, but for now I don't really want to focus on them, so I'm going to go for just a regular blue and turn the brightness right the way down. And I'm going to try and find the same shade each time. Turn it down, go for the 6th, turn it down. And what you'll see now is that I can clearly see where my root, 3, 5, 7. Root, 3, 5, 7, root. I've still got my full scale if I want it. You can see where the 2 is. But now the only ones that have that bold colour are the chord tones. Something else that I'd be doing is for learning triads. You could completely turn off everything apart from the root 3, 5. Obviously you could do it with 7th chords as well if you wanted to. And then I just click everything. And now what you can see is I've got my triads spread out across the entire fretboard. So if you're thinking in terms of chord shapes, in the cage chords, you've got, there's your E shape, and you can see there's the root 5, 3, root 5, 3, root. So you'd have this. Let's have a look at this. So we've now got the root 3 and 5 laid out on the neck. We can see where the intervals are. And it even lets you know that this is, so 3, 5, root. This one will be root 3, 5. This will be 5, root 3. So you even know which are the inversions. Hi, I'm interrupting the video right now to just let you know that I've been in contact with Fret Zealot about some benefits that I can provide to viewers of the channel. Now, what there is in the description box there is an affiliate link. Now, if you click on the link, what it enables you to do is to get $20 off a purchase of any of the physical Fret Zealot systems, and also it gives you 1 month free access to the app. It also helps the channel out. For every person that clicks and buys through an affiliate link, the channel gets a little bit something, and that's what helps me make these videos for you guys. So if you're interested in the system, if you use the affiliate link, there's some benefits for you and some benefits for the channel. So what's my overall opinion of the Fret Zealot LED system? The good points first. The good points, the quality is great, to be honest. Better than I thought it was going to be. I thought something that you stick onto the guitar is going to be poor quality, it's going to be peeling off. Nothing has moved. So that's great. The quality of the LEDs, they're very bright, they're easy to see in daytime. I don't know if the camera's picking this up really well, but obviously I'm a lot closer and visually I can see everything that I need to see. You play it at nighttime, even better, it's really bright. So if you did it on stage with the light show on, it would look pretty cool. There are some competitors. I think there's a company in Italy that has launched something very similar, to be honest, it's very similar. Although I did download their app and it seems like the product is cheaper, but then there's a paywall on everything on the app. They give you so much stuff, and then the stuff that you're really going to need, which, you know, there was 128 different voicings of a C major chord, more than you could ever need. They don't give you that for free. You would have to pay for what you want. So actually to open the app as much as this, is going to cost. The system doesn't get in the way. That's something important. As I play, and I do some of the more Hendrixy style where it's thumb over the neck, it still isn't an issue. My thumb is touching, but there's only some slight raised patches and it doesn't hinder. The best thing is there's nothing on the bottom of the neck where your hand really slides. That would be a problem. I haven't set this guitar up for a long time. It really needs a setup. But even then, I can see that I'm nowhere near touching the frets, the LEDs, when I fret a note. There's a really good bit of clearance, so I'm not worried about string bends or anything ripping into the LEDs. I don't see that is going to happen, especially with a guitar that's not been set up properly like this one. It's not permanent, so I mean, I've got this as my project guitar, so I will keep it on this, but if ever I change my mind and decided, you know, I want to get rid of it, I want to change my guitar, sell it, swap it, do whatever, you can take this off. It would probably peel straight off, but I would recommend a little bit of heat and then clean it, and it would be absolutely no issue. And the thing that sets this apart for me is the fact it can fit any guitar. I was sent this system, it came in a box this size, and it fits my guitar. I didn't need to go and buy a new guitar specifically for having this ability. This went on my project guitar and the guitar I use for my own study, which is really nice. The downsides, okay. I would say the battery pack is a drawback, yeah. But I mean, I've had this on for a month. I've been using it quite extensively. I think I've charged it once. It didn't even run out. I thought I'd best top it up for doing this video. It doesn't get in the way I've mounted it. I can hang it on a wall hanger, I can put it in the bag, not an issue. With the capo, you would just remove the cable, remove the capo, and put it separately, so it would be even less of an issue. I just didn't want to keep taking it off. But if it was possible to make it smaller, amazing, but it's not a deal breaker. It is expensive. I mean, you're paying for the technology that goes into it, the research and the app, the designing of everything, and it functions really well. But I would say it is expensive. That's the only downside. The other side of the coin is you get what you pay for. I mean, it is a quality piece of kit. Yeah, expensive though, that's the downside. Improvements that I think could be made. I think there could be some improvements in the app, and I have spoken to Sean at Fret Zealot about this, and some of the things he said are coming in future updates and future product releases. The ability where the chords change on the system, that would be amazing to have the scales change. I would think that would be fantastic. If you, let's say you're learning how to solo over the changes in blues, so you could set it to change the same as the 12-bar blues progression, and it would change scale at the appropriate measure. So then you would see automatically, oh, okay, I'm highlighting this. That would be really cool. The other thing for me is if there was a way to, because I like to change my intervals to my own specific colors, if there's a way to globally set that so that you could have, you know, when you change key, it doesn't change the colors. So I could go G, the root is red, C, the root is red. I'm nitpicking because you could just change it yourself each time. So not a big issue. And it does save it once you've changed it the first time, I think. I'll have to check that. It is possible to upload your own songs and have it play in the song creator, but I think it could be made easier. I found it quite difficult to do because it was hard to do on my phone because I edit things on my computer and write music on my computer. So I uploaded it on there and it was difficult to get to work on my phone. So to make that a bit easier would be better. Overall opinions. I think it is a worthwhile tool. I think if you can use it creatively, you'll get the most out of it. So if you can see that progression that I told you about going from beginner to intermediate to advanced, then yeah, you will get your money's worth out of this. If you just use it for a few songs and you realize that, oh, it doesn't have the song that I really want, I think you'd be disappointed. I think if you go into it knowing full well that this is the song list, which you can download the app and check beforehand, it's not like they keep it a secret. You can request a song that you want, it gets sent out to the tutors that make the videos, and it can work that way as well. So you can get hold of the songs that you want. But what I would say is, remember that you can use it as a scale tool, a note tool. That's the key to it, I think. Finding your chord tones, what scale works with what song, what chords. Learning something like the Cage system, fantastic. You could have the major scale. In fact, why am I telling you? Why don't I just show you? Okay, so for example, here we have the E shape A chord. You could use it for learning the harmonized major scale. You can see where all these chords fit. So major, second minor, third minor, fourth major, fifth major, sixth minor, seven diminished, and back to the root. Everything displayed there. It's so useful. You could be using it to have the chord. You could see the major scale on top of that chord. You could see the arpeggios within that. It's, as a learning tool, indispensable, I think. It opens up so many doors to see things visually on the fretboard that that's what I think its selling point is. Would I recommend it? Yes. Would I buy it with my own money? Bear in mind I got sent this one. Yes, I would. After playing with it and seeing what it can do, if you're creative with it and you can figure out things that work for you, not just the songs. The songs are fantastic, but the extra abilities, yes, it's worth every penny.